Man, this thing really needs new seats. It's like I'm sitting in a Kirky or something, like a straight up metal seat, because all the padding in this is worn out. But anyways, let's go for a rip. Damn, this thing's just blowing the tires off everywhere. Oh boy, I really gotta drive it today, boys. Holy fuck, this thing's a powerhouse. What is going on, guys? It is the next day now. And yeah, last night I was super freaking tired. I got a good night's sleep, and we're gonna get back at this thing. Got all my old trans parts laying all over. Figured I'd give you guys a little look at the Mustang. Still sitting there. There's my bumper and my intercooler piping, drive shaft, bunch of shit just sitting here, waiting for that transmission to get done. Like I said, the tranny is with the guy that is putting the trans brake in, and he's had some unexpected life events come up, so it's taking a little bit longer than, you know, intended. But you know, I am looking forward to the Chev Sting just as much as you guys. But even if we do get it together, it's not like we're going to be racing or driving it much, considering here in Wisconsin it is freaking cold and the Mustang doesn't have a heater. So yeah. Okay guys, figured I'd give you an update on the car here. We're wrenching on. But yeah, so I got the transmission back out. I installed the transmission into the car, hooked the shift linkage up, all that kind of stuff. And I went to just go try the shifter out to see how everything was. And it was weird because fourth gear, like the area where fourth should be, was reverse. And then to the right of it, there was another gear, which was totally weird because normally all the way to the right and down is reverse, but in this case it was not that way. So yeah, I had to pull this damn thing back apart. I pulled the case back apart, everything, and I looked everything over, and everything looked completely mint. I don't think I misplaced anything. I put everything in the way that it should be. But the only thing that I did modify when I put it together was the shift rod that goes into the transmission. The pin that was like holding it originally was totally messed up, and I didn't have another pin here, so I just tacked it into place for now, and used a different part of the linkage to attach the shifter. So I did that, and then that's the only thing that I can think of that fucked with it. And sure thing, when you look at this, when you shift gears, there is like a minute amount of movement back and forth. So even a little bit, if that pin is misaligned just a little bit on either side, it's going to throw the whole shifter assembly like off. So you got to make sure that you get the right pin in this, and you got to make sure that you get it nice and tight, because otherwise your fourth gear is going to be reverse. Yeah, nobody's a superstar all the time. I'm definitely, you know, not everything goes freaking peachy. I know it may seem like it on this channel, but I mean, you do run into snags once in a while, and that's just part of racing and part of building cars and going fast. Anybody who says otherwise is a complete idiot. Everybody makes mistakes. Okay guys, so I was at another standstill on the car. I had the transmission back out, like I said. I went through it, everything was good. The linkage was the problem. And when I was tearing everything back apart just to double check everything again, this bearing on the main shaft right here, anyways, the main shaft bearing that goes on the top of the main shaft, and then it goes into the case down in there, came apart and lost all the bearings that were in the inside of the bearing there. And yeah, totally screwed. Didn't know what I was going to do because that was the only other bearing I had. I went to an auto parts store, and they didn't know what the hell I was talking about, so I didn't know what to do. So I hit up my buddy Michael with the red Civic, and he hooked me up. He actually had a couple D-Series trannies, and turns out the D-Series main shaft bearing is the exact same. So cool tech tip for you guys looking for like a random bearing or whatever. D and B series, they do interchange. But this thing has really been getting on my bad side. So yeah, but anyways, I got the trans back in finally. It's all mounted up. I got the clutch cable on, shift linkage, all that stuff. And now the shifter is good. Everything seems good. The only issue is that I'm having now is that the shifter is like first gear is where third is. You know what I'm saying? And then reverse is like damn near in the passenger seat. So I think this linkage that's on this car is not perfect. It's probably not meant for a CRX or something like that. It might be meant for a little bit different model, but it does work still. So I'm just going to run it for now. Maybe later I'll buy like a Hassport linkage or something like that. But like I said, for now I'm just going to run it. I have to get a new driver's side axle because when I first put this car together, I actually messed up the end of the axle. The threads are kind of messed up, so I'm probably going to have to get a different axle for it. And then hopefully tomorrow I get some fluid in this thing and button up the little bit of stuff I got to do yet, like put the axles in and the starter and whatnot. So I used all used parts. I didn't put anything new in it. I just kind of looked over everything and put, you know, a good used part in if the part was bad. Like there was one sleeve I think that was messed up a little bit, and then I put the LS fifth gear in because the fifth gear on the B16 was messed up, and then I also did the main shaft bearing on the top side case side, and then I also put an input bearing in the bottom case side, or I should say like the engine side. I put input shaft bearing on both sides. No matter what, it's still a piece of shit. I know it, but sometimes piles of shit are the most fun and enjoyable cars to have, especially when you put all your time and dedication into it. I bought this car for $400, and I mean I've put endless hours of labor into it, so it's worth, you know, a lot more than that to me now, considering I put so much time into it. But at the same time, didn't put money into it, you know, parts-wise. I mean, total investment into this car is around $1,000 to $1,200 so far with a B-swap, everything. So, yeah. What is up, guys? I got the CRX all buttoned up. I just got to throw the intake pipe back on and my speedometer cable. But other than that, I just took it for a quick lap around the block, and it goes in every gear. Honestly, you can distinctly feel it go into gear, so it feels really good. The only thing that kind of sucks is the shift linkage that I was talking about, because I don't know if this linkage is actually for a CRX or not. The linkage is like really far over to the right and up, so getting it in the forward gears is a little bit tough. Like first gear and third gear, you really got to push really far forward for it to actually go into gear. But, you know, like second, fourth, all that is awesome. Like I said, I'm probably just going to have to get a linkage. I might order like a Hassport shift linkage or something like that, because honestly, when you do these EF or CRX chassis, they don't really make a linkage that works good unless you buy an aftermarket one. Yeah, and when you have a sloppy linkage, you can beat up the tranny a lot more from it being sloppy. But yeah, so I'm going to get the you know, inside all buttoned up with the speedo cable, and then we'll pick back up and probably go drive this thing around. Man, this thing really needs new seats. It's like I'm sitting in a Kirky or something, like a straight up metal seat, because all the padding in this is worn out. But anyways, let's go for a rip. Damn, this thing's just blowing the tires off everywhere. Oh boy, I really gotta drive it today, boys. Holy fuck, this thing's a powerhouse. Oh, there she goes, she's hooking now. What the fuck? This linkage is messed up. The shifter in fourth gear is like where neutral should be, and then neutral is like this one. Now third gear has an issue still. I don't know what it is. It was hard to get in third before, and still is, so I don't know what the deal is. If the linkage is messed up still, or what the case is, but honestly, as long as I can drive it, I'm happy. And it is no longer making any noise. Also, the LS 5th gear is way better. When I'm in 5th at 75, it's at like 3 grand now instead of 5,500. The Civic in front of us. See if he wants to do a pull or what. First, second, fourth, fifth are all butter. Nothing wrong with them. I can wide open throttle shift first, second, and third to fourth, but I cannot go from second to third to save my life. Third gear seems to, yeah, it just doesn't even want to go in. I don't know why. It's like it's not actually clicking into gear. It's like it's I don't know. Something's not fucking right with it. Alright, so it's in third gear right now, and honestly, if you got like a bad gear or a bad synchro or something like that, usually if you're at a low RPM and you just, it would pop out. Usually. I don't know. Like I said, this seems like it's a linkage issue. Like I said, it's got to have like a sweet spot on the linkage for it to go in. But it doesn't pop out at all if it's in. It's just getting it into third that's a bitch. I don't know. Like I said, it could be something in the trans. It could be the linkage. Who knows? Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed my suffering again. This thing definitely has had my number ever since I got it. That's why I considered selling it. I don't really want to sell it because I'm invested into it now. I have a lot of time into it, so I'll probably end up keeping it. But the problem is now, you know, the transmission is still having issues. The third, fourth, you know, collar in the trans, I think is messed up because before I even pulled it out, it didn't have fourth gear, and now it doesn't have third gear. So I'm thinking that the shift collar or something is messed up on the input shaft, because I actually could not use any of this stuff off the input shaft on the other transmission, so I just had to use what I had, which was the old shit. So obviously if it had problems before, it's still going to have those problems. So yeah, hopefully you guys understand that. I don't think it was anything that like I installed wrong or anything like that. I think it's just because the collar or something in the trans or this linkage, I don't know. I don't think it's the linkage now after I've driven it for a little while. I think it's something to do with the collar on the input shaft, because the input shaft has third and fourth gear from my knowledge, and the shift collar on the input shaft is for third and fourth. And those two gears I'm having issues with. Fourth gear grinds, and third gear like doesn't go in 75% of the time. So I don't know. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to be hopefully doing some more stuff on the channel here. Let me know how you like the new intro. My buddy made that for me. I thought it was pretty cool. That might be my new logo too, so I might be making some more stickers and t-shirts. So you guys let me know if you guys are interested in like a t-shirt or something like that. Maybe I'll show you guys in the next video what the t-shirts may look like and all that stuff. So yeah, till next time, guys, see you later.